And then I would see a Rasta man in New York City because that's where you would see the Rasta man and Rasta woman growing up.
Yeah.
Always
Like,
attracted
you
to
like Rasta?
Rastafari.
Yes, oh, yeah.
I was always attracted to
What you say?
first the image, and then my mom once again tells me what a Rasta man is.
Okay, yeah.
Cleaning the 45s of my father's 45s, that was joy to me.
Yeah.
He would just give me the 45 boxes and say, clean them. And I'm like, sure. And I'm just clean.
Walk with the camera like Jesus.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Inside the Music. I'm your host, Jeezy B. And today, we're at a historical place, Gargan Entertainment, or legendary. I mean, this is a historical place. It's a, let's say, a museum of music where you have instruments from the 60s.
Yeah.
You have the tape. Mixing boards from before I was born. I mean, so now we're here with a beautiful Empress. I mean, goes by the name of Empress Yvette.
Greetings.
Blessed love.
Blessed love.
Yeah, but like the Empress, them calm me down, isn't it? Yeah, Empress bring a different vibes to GZB.
Yeah.
Yeah, come with a man with more. You know what I mean? But so they're on the Empress is like,
chill.
Yeah, it's like,
Relax. You zen out.
We have some things we can't talk about differently,
Yes.
Because that's why this even come about. We were just here talking on a regular.
Yes.
So introduce yourself to the world.
Well, greetings everyone. I'm Empress Yvette, aka Yvette Marshall, radio broadcaster, disc jockey, sound system operator, producer, TV personality from back in the days in Miami. Now I live in Jamaica and just pursuing the radio, marketing executive, record label, manager. And that's pretty much me. Music is me, so I do pretty much everything in music.
Everything in music.
Except for singing, because my son says I can't sing, so I didn't choose that route. So I'm not going to sing. But I think I can DJ like Brigadier Jerry, test me one of these days. Not today, but one of these days.
So what started this journey, though? Because you said your father was a sound system owner.
Oh, yes. Yeah. DJ Sir Charles.
DJ Sir Charles is your father.
Yes, and he's coming from Morant Bay, St. Thomas, to New York City, to Pennsylvania, Connecticut.
So him start the whole Jamaican culture in New York.
New York. I was raised in New Jersey, but also raised in New York. I would go there every week with him to the record stores, to the parties. Yeah. So
as a little girl.
As a little girl, sometimes my mom would have to work overtime, and he would bring me.
Yeah.
Dress me up, and he said, "Behave yourself." And I would, because I was that child that loved the music, so I was just watching him the whole time. I looked at him like Superman, I think.
Yeah, most girls look up to them fathers.
Yeah, and just seeing him on the turntables as a little girl looking up at him and watching the crowd.
Had it inspired you to want to do something like that?
Oh, yes. I saw him, I remember as a little girl, and I saw him at the house parties. We used to keep a lot of house parties.
Yeah.
We have a big basement. And I looked at him one night. I said, that's what I want to be. I want to do what he's doing, because he is rocking the crowd. The audience is loving him. They're vibing him. And I said, I want to do that.
True.
I want the crowd to love me the way they love him, by playing the music, because I loved music.
Yeah.
I was probably still the only child at age 6 that got great joy of cleaning the 45s of my father's 45s. That was joy to me.
Yeah.
He would just give me the 45 boxes and say, clean them. I'm like, sure. And I'm just cleaning them away.
45 are the records for the young kids that don't know.
Yes.
It's not a gun she's talking about. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's the record.
Yeah.
That spins.
Yeah.
With the needle.
Exactly.
Yes. Real.
We have the real thing, not Serato.
Yes.
There was no Serato back then.
There was no Serato. She's talking about
the techniques.
Yeah. 90s.
Yeah.
Late 80s.
Late 80s, 90s techniques.
You had to be skilled.
Big time.
There was no YouTube to teach you.
No. You had records under your arms. Records like all over the place, and flinging them down.
Headphones.
And scratching.
So you can do all of that.
Yeah, I had to learn how to do all of it. And I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Because I watched my father do it.
So it was just your passion.
It was my passion because, I mean, I used to watch a show called Video Music Box in New York and with VJ Ralph McDaniel. So I learned about other people like Kid Capri.
Kid Capri, yeah.
And I would learn about all these other DJs like DJ Epps and all of these other people. Cool Herc and all of these people. And I would say, wow, look at them. You know, they're mixing Marley Marl before he became the big producer of the symphony and all of those hip hop hits. And I would say, I want to do this. Well, one of my inspirations was Spinderella from Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
I was a little girl, and I said, there's a female DJ. I'm going to be just like Spinderella. She's fashionable. She has her nails done. She has her makeup on fleek. Her hair is like my mom's, heels and everything. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like Spinderella.
That is it. And you did it.
Yeah. I can't believe it. I did do it.
You did it. I said like it was all a dream.
I used to read Word Up magazine, and I did.
And she used to. We can't tell.
I used to read Word Up magazine.
East Coast girl.
Yes.
You know, your bomber jacket and your bamboo earrings.
Bamboo earrings all day, and my suede skirts, and my tights, and my boots. And telling you, Spinderella and my mom, they were super influential. Yeah. Okay, my suede fur jacket. Flip it up with the fur.
That man, tell it. It's like you were born for this. It's in your blood.
You know,
what do
a lot of people say that.
What do your mother do?
My mom worked in a hospital. She worked in the kitchen, and she, one of the best people in the world, because she could give you advice on fashion, who's going to have the #1 song, and she was always right. Her favorite artist is Vybz Kartel. Big up Kartel. I'm just sorry.
Listen.
Yes. Mommy said Free World Boss.
Mommy said Free World Boss. Yeah,
and she's a Chris Brown fan and a Tyrese fan. You cannot say anything bad about Busta Rhymes or Biggie around her. Her ringtone for 2 decades was One More Chance. Up to her
Biggie,
transition.
Give me one more chance. Biggie, Biggie. That song.
Anytime you hear, when you hear One More Chance,
you think of it.
Go get mom's phone. Because she left it in the living room and she's in the kitchen. Yeah. So it's like that setting. She was the cool mom that was more up to date than me.
Yeah.
She was more up to date than me by far.
So you had a balance and a nice household. You grew up with mommy and daddy. So.
Mommy and daddy. And she would get him dressed for the nightclubs.
What about the siblings?
Me and my sister. Just me and my sister, Shayna. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she took on the acting role. I took on the music.
Okay.
Yeah. He's into acting.
Superstar family. Selector. She come to everything. And sister, mommy, in the kitchen, she can.
Mommy, I'm one of the baddest cooks.
She can get daddy dressed.
Yeah.
So she's
the one that put out all the gold jewelry for daddy and all the chains.
So daddy, what was daddy's swag?
All right. So I would say a mix of Don Cornelius from Soul Train. And
Don Cornelius, yeah.
And then like that hip hop flavor. It depends if he was going to be in an arena in New York City DJing, then you're going to see him in like a nice tracksuit. But he has to always have
cool chain.
Yeah, he always has to have gold chains because my mom would always get him jewelry. Yeah. Like she would get him rings and bracelets and say, "No, don't wear that tonight. Wear the suede jacket with this chain and wear that." So he hated hats. Oh. To this day, he still hates hats. Mm-hmm. But he was the one with the goatee and very, very GQ. Yeah, very GQ.
Just a Don Cornelius cinnamon.
Soul Train vibes. Yeah, man. Like the chain.
What was his favorite? What was his punchline again? Don Cornelius. He was just a
peace, love, and soul, or something like that.
Love
and soul. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you get old without saying you get old. Yeah. Getting there, for you know that a big people segment. This
but you know what? Too, it's on YouTube, so everybody knows it now.
Yeah, they wouldn't click on it, man. They have option.
We talked about options.
Yeah, options.
Telling you.
Alright. That's all YouTube and them thing that options. Remember in Jamaica growing up we only had one channel. So whatever was hot on that one channel and that we work with.
Mm-hmm. JBC.
Just look at us now. Yeah. So growing up in America though. Mm-hmm. Like what age you was born in Jamaica?
I was born in America, but I moved to Jamaica when I was young. So that was the culture shock at age 5. I had to move to country, St. Thomas.
from New York.
from New York,
New
New Jersey, and I will never forget that because my aunt had passed and my mom had to take over guardianship of my cousins. And I remember saying to my father, this must have been the third night we were in Jamaica. I'm not used to no lights. I'm not used to no water in the house. I'm used to this big house in New Jersey where everything you just click on and everything appears. And I said to my father, I said, so when are we leaving?
Yeah.
And he said, this is home. And I looked at the zinc roof and I said, what? I want to go home. And my father looked at me in the bed. He said,
This is home.
this is home. That was the culture shock of my life.
Yeah. So how did you adapt as a return resident at
I don't know.
what age?
You know what? At age 5, I think my mom helped me. She was the one. Because she was like, as my sister always said, my mom was like always a little kid. You know, when they talk about embracing the inner child now, mommy was an inner child from then.
Yeah,
So she would play and goof around and say, isn't this cool? No water in the house. Let's go get some buckets. And so she would make it fun. You know, and like, this is a kerosene lamp.
Trick.
You can get light from this.
Trick for like a rough life.
I know, but guess what? It worked.
Definitely.
Because big up mommy on that. She has a way with children to psychologically make them feel good.
Yeah.
Even in a bad situation. And I've seen her do that with all races. Because she used to babysit other children.
Yeah, man.
So that's how I
seemed like a vibrant person.
Yeah, she was.
Dumpling and butter! Yeah.
You like mackerel and rice. Isn't this cool? And I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm like sitting at the table like, okay.
Yeah. We can't see that happen.
But it was beautiful because I can look back at it.
Yeah, when you look back, it's the diversity that became you. Like,
exactly. And returning now to Jamaica.
Yeah. So when I reach back far again. 5-year-old in Jamaica going to school now with American accent. I'm sure.
That I didn't do because that's where the homeschooling came in. I was doing a homeschool project.
Okay.
So my mom was the homeschooler. So my mother was very diverse. And I think even though they classify it as she didn't have enough education, I find her more educated than some of the greatest scholars in the world.
Okay.
Because the way I read, the way I acquire math problems, it was through her. She taught me to calm down, focus, and this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to work out the problem solving. I don't think I would have been successful here without her. Because my father doesn't have patience. My mother was the one with the patience.
Okay.
You know, he was patient with music, but the rest of the life was, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So growing up was different, but it was good.
It was good, and I have to give thanks because a lot of people I've met, so many of my friends where they've had a different type of house setting. And I have to say, Yvette, as much as you were embarrassed then, you need to be grateful now because look where you're coming from.
True.
You know, as a kid, you were saying, why do I have to be like this? Why do we have to live like this? Can we go back? We eventually went back, but I wasn't happy. And now I can look back at my life and say, thank you.
Yes, true. It was a learning process.
It was. And now I can teach my son, okay, this is what we do.
Because me hear your son flip it to, come in my thought, it was because he's an engineer.
Yeah, he's engineering right now.
And I'm going to talk to him and like a Jamaican.
Yeah.
And then
he was born and raised in Florida.
And then his what's his name forward in? Echo forward. And him start talk like American to him.
Yeah.
And so I said, because me never know the American come here and talk Jamaican.
Yes.
And then he flip it. So you brought him up the same way you was brought up.
Exactly.
Basically.
And he's only been here for 4 years. And he transitioned from American schools to Jamaican schools in Mandeville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder how that is for him.
Oh, it's been an experience.
Because we know you can relate.
Yeah.
And you probably know how to navigate his situation because you experienced it.
Exactly.
So how do you navigate?
With him, in this day and age with children, and I notice a lot of parents don't do it, they don't conversate and reason with their children.
Yeah.
Like reason, like I said, Bridget, how was school?
True.
So how was that girl? Ari, how's my girl? How's my friend? Or
Yeah, yeah.
you reason with them on a level where they feel comfortable.
True.
I'm learning this now because most children are on their phones and that's their comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to become almost like a phone and make them feel comfortable to reason with you.
True.
So me and him have a connection through music. So me and him will listen to a beat or I'm playing music in the studio and he's like, I like that. What's the name of that? I was like, Dennis Brown when I was 5 years old. Da, 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 da. And then he's like, yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to mix that with Kanye West. And, so we just connect.
He use his culture with him grow up with your culture.
Yes, because he's like, yo, I just played your favorite song. I did a mix to your favorite Kanye. I was like, what? Let me hear it.
Yeah.
So we're not like, yeah, he has to do the chores. He knows. But that's my bro. That's,
You can't bring girl in the house?
If I approve of her.
Okay.
Yes, he can.
So you bro him up now and see how
if I approve of her, because he'll ask me, he's like, so I'm talking to her, what do you think? And I'm like, no. And then
so what you used to say no, yes or no?
Conversating with them when they conversate with me. Some of them reach out to me on IG and I'm like, they're so kind, that's so sweet. And they just reach out to me regular. It's not like they're trying to do anything. And I'm like, that right there shows respect.
True. So we can see someone have a good bond.
Yeah.
Not even good, great.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what I would do without my Enoch.
Alright, so when you live in Jamaica, you got homeschooling, you learn certain things.
And then I went back.
When you go back to America now, how was it adapting back? Were you happy? Say I'm finally home.
Yeah, I was really yes, because back to the lights on and the running water and.
How long you say you spent in Jamaica?
A couple of years, because my mother had to get things together.
Like how many years? Like 3.
Like
can't
2.
Like after what 3 years?
No, because this is deep country, St. Thomas. Yeah. So light don't reach there yet in those areas.
So light.
That was a long time ago. That was in the 80s.
Popcorn talk about this one at a time. When me come from the internet then.
No, there was no lights.
Like 2020 said that too.
There was no lights, there was no running water. I remember it was a board house. And that was a shocker too.
Yeah.
So I had to adjust completely. You're leaving a nice suburban house in New Jersey to go to a board house. That's major. So my mother had to really do her work and try to make it fun and run around the yard and act crazy to make me feel like, okay, maybe this is an adventure.
Today.
She made it fun. She really did. And I'm really grateful. All my friends love mommy. I can tell you, everybody loved my mother. They loved her.
These day and age kids, man, no drama car. I remember we got to country with my son.
Yeah.
Right? And we reached my auntie house. Big up Auntie Christine.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked for the Wi-Fi. So auntie not on the internet. So my son name is Larry.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, Larry, give me a group. Never have no internet. Yes, so man. We never have no internet on me then. And we do, man. Say, and we still don't. Like you might try to say, normally when they say we never used to have it, like you have it now.
You have it now.
No, I'm not saying you still don't. Like, so what's your point?
Exactly. So what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to say? Like, what's the moral of this story?
Exactly.
And I said, well, we used to outside and play cricket and this and him. I said,
Yeah, that's foreign to them. Like, cricket. What is that?
So it happens right here in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So imagine moving from overseas to like from that to country.
It's deep.
From town to country is a shock.
It is a shock. So just
hurrying to country.
America to Jamaica and then going back to Jamaica to America. Those days it was different.
There's somebody a DJ in the background, studio with them. And we just take over.
Money lead studio.
Yes. I want to space with stuff. Here somebody a DJ, don't make it bother you. I not hear them clear. And
this is real.
So I know it will pick up. Don't see it will pick up. Anyway.
Yes.
The culture shock. But like I say, it's a good thing more than a bad thing.
It is. I can look back now and say, yeah, it did.
It did,
because after losing my mother when she transitioned, I had to go back to that
Condolence to
state.
mommy.
Give thanks. We moved back here. I decided I wasn't going back to America.
Yeah.
And I already established my name in Florida, did my work. I've hosted all the shows like the Best of the Best and Grace Jerk Fest and all of those shows.
Yes.
So it's like after losing your biggest fan, which was my mom, she never missed a radio show, she never missed anything. I just looked at after the funeral, I said, I'm not going back to America.
Yeah.
What used to be a board house is not a board house anymore in St. Thomas. So I was there looking out the window and I said, I'm going to stay right here in Jamaica and try to make things happen.
Yeah.
And that's been me for the past 4 or 5 years.
Good old St. Thomas.
But I'm not in St. Thomas anymore. I'm in Mandeville.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
move, man. You
Yeah.
still have the foreign mentality, right? That's all.
You know what?
When something move.
Yeah, you know what? It was that too, but also my aunt, she sent for me because I was grieving too much.
Okay. Living in that house.
Yeah. And there was family members that felt that it wasn't healthy for me to see her tomb every day like that, knowing that we were so close. We were very, very close. And then that reality, that's all I'm going to ever see of her.
Yeah.
So they said, she called in, she said, no, get your cousin to bring you to Mandeville.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Move to Mandeville.
Mm-hmm.
In the night. Cool.
Cold Mandeville in the evenings, like right now it's cold.
Like the AC out of that.
But here in Mandeville, it's cold right now as we speak.
But this is all you attire in Mandeville. This is the sleeves out.
I
Sleeves
have
out.
my sweaters, I have my blankets, I have everything.
Nice, like a Chinese
The look,
ensemble.
the look.
Yes.
But this is me. If you Google me, you'll see I go from everything. My favorite look is sari, which is from India. That's my signature look, the sari with the bindis and the jewels.
Yeah.
Everything. So.
With the earring got to the nose ring.
Yeah, well, I haven't tried that yet, but I do have the bindis that come down and everything. So yeah.
I'm going with yourself. Full of culture.
Yes.
American, Jamaican, Indian.
Yeah, and Rastafari is the basis of everything.
Was your father Rasta?
No, I'm the only one in my family that's Rasta.
Okay, cool. What make you chose Rastafari?
I always loved it. As a baby, they would say to stop me from crying, they would flash the Bob Marley album in front of me and I would stop immediately.
Yeah.
And then I would see a Rasta man in New York City because that's where you would see the Rasta man and Rasta woman growing up.
Yeah.
And I would be the little girl that would push her head out the window of the car and say, hi. So I was I was always attracted to
like
the Rastafari.
Yes, oh, yeah.
I was always attracted to
What do you say?
first the image, and then my mom once again tells me what a Rastaman is.
Okay, yeah.
So she explained all of this, and I it's in you, and it's brewing in you, and then you go to college. When you go to college now, you're figuring out life.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I had a friend that took me to the Buddhist temple, and for a little bit I was doing the Buddhist culture, and I was liking it. I liked the whole thing. But deep down inside, all those records that Daddy had, Johnny Clark, Bonnie Lee, Johnny Clark, None Shall Escape the Judgment, all of these Rastafari tunes.
Platinum plaques on the wall.
Daddy had a large Rastafari base records. Even though he had hip hop and that was his focus and American music, a lot of Rasta music was in the house.
Holy Manuel.
Yes. And my mom had like the Rita Marley album that she would play all the time. So as a little baby girl, you're growing up and you're hearing all of this. And then I love Bob Marley because they would play the Bob Marley. And you're growing up and you're loving Bob Marley and you want to know about this Rastaman thing. You want to know. And I'm starting to see the videos surface of his life. And you'd hear certain family members say, oh, he's Haile Selassie and God. But deep down inside of me, when they said that, I said, no, this man is special. I'm going to find out who he is one day. And that's exactly what I did when I went to college.
Okay.
So by going into the libraries and researching about His Majesty, the music that I was listening to growing up made more sense. Bob Marley made more sense. Peter Tosh, Burning Spear, Johnny Clark started to make more sense. And I said, yeah, this is it.
And you just said, done with the year salon.
Done with it. I got into a major car accident.
Was here.
And I said, at the time I had just permed my hair and I felt the blood running down because it was a very near fatal car accident. And I said, I'll never perm my hair again. And I never did. And I was a teenager with my first car and I said, nope, I'm going to lock off. And that was the try. That was the beginning.
And how long is your girl locks now?
Woo. 1999 March, I cut my hair off to grow locks in Brooklyn. Yep.
99. 26 years?
About that, yep. I'll never forget, it was spring break. And I shocked the whole family when I went home. No hair. Because I always had long hair.
Yeah.
It was processed, but I always had long hair.
Yeah.
And when they saw that I took off the hoodie and there was these little twists, my mother was like, so where's your hair? And I'm like, I told you it was going to grow long. I'm going to grow long.
Journey, she said.
And Dad liked it. Mom didn't like it originally until it started to grow where you could style it. But my father loved the first initiation style of it.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
So what started you like when your first time actually like playing
Music?
Yeah.
Oh, I started on my father's sound system at 12.
Yeah.
I want to say 11 and a half because it was at his birthday party and it looked like he drank a lot and he was tired. He didn't want to play no more.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing.
Party?
It was his birthday party and the place was packed. And he looked at, but see, this is the thing. When he's playing and I'm there, I'm standing right next to him always. And he looked at me and he said, you want to touch it? And I looked at him like, me? You want me to touch that?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, I'm just going to show you two things. You got this. He said, you got this. Put on the headphones. Channel 1, Channel 2, crossfader. And he just put on the records, showed me, and that was it.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in heaven. And that was the beginning of everything. And then all his friends said, you need to take her on the road now.
You get forward the bus, bro.
Oh, yes.
You remember the first song?
Yes, Doctor's Orders, Beres Hammond. I'll never forget when I put that record on. And that was a brand new song. It wasn't like it was a hit Beres.
Yeah.
Doctor's Orders, Beres Hammond. I'm not going to forget that night.
Yeah.
And the man then from Bronx started beat the wall and screaming. I was like, wow. That rush made me know at 11, 12, this is it right here. This is it. That rush, that feeling to hear man beating down the walls. And I said, this is that brand new tune. It's not even hot yet. And you love it. I said, I'm going to give you more now.
What second song you play? When you draw after that?
It was Beres. It was Beres.
Oh, just...
Beres. It was Beres. Full Attention. That time you had the Full Attention album out. And I'll never forget that night. That night was just wonderful. And then I went into Tempted to Touch, that mix and take it from there. You know, and it was at that point one of the club owners went to the party and said, you need to get her on the road.
So did you go on the road?
Yes, but my father was very strict. He said she can only do banquets, birthday parties, and weddings. He started me off like that. Because he said there's a process to this.
Going in on a dance hall with weed.
He didn't want to put me in the nightclubs yet. Not so young. Which I respect that because you have to be skilled to play at a wedding.
True.
And I had to really learn selection now and transition from the R&B slow jams, the dinner music into the reception dance music. I appreciate love that now.
Makes sense. And yes, you know, all of that was the learning process to develop your craft.
Yeah. It was awesome. I'm looking back at it right now. I'm like, wow.
So I don't know the normal thing I go on with. And Daddy, big up yourself. Daddy's still alive.
Yeah, well, DJ Sir Charles is still with us, and I'm very grateful for him. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so how was when you reached like radio station level?
Oh, that was in college. At FIU, Florida International University in Miami. I said to myself, I'm in broadcast journalism for the connection to music and sound system, mass communications.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to go on radio because I had all this experience with music on the sound system, put it to radio because I still love listening to the radio in New York.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to do it. I'm going to do radio because I can play like on the sound system on radio. I did it. I applied. I got accepted to the general manager. He invited me to the orientation. And eventually I got my own show. But it took a while. But they give you those little tester shows, and you have to play their rotation. And then he realized she plays reggae, so let her play some reggae.
Yeah.
And from there, and when I opened the mic and spoke, they were like, they love your voice. We're gonna have to get her a show.
Yeah, give me a piece of the radio voice in the cup.
Okay, here we go. Hey everyone, you're listening to Empress Yvette right here on Inside the Music, and we're playing the big tunes right here. Brand new music coming from Vibes Cartel. Yeah, he's coming hot this year. He's released and he's touring the world right here on Inside the Music.
Wonder our nose. I'm out. No, you sound like we need some dub plate. We need some dub plate for you. We need some dub plate.
Oh my goodness.
That is so professional. That's so
really?
Right. Yes. It is obvious that they're professional.
And it's just me being me.
Right here. W Walls.
W Bunny Lee Studio.
No,
oh
you remember that on the Snoop Dogg album?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
W Balls. W Balls. You have to know hip hop fan.
Yeah, I gotta know the hip hop from the 90s. Everything.
What's your favorite artist?
Of all time?
Yeah, of all time.
It's gonna be Robert Nesta Marley.
Robert, pick up yourself. We grab it.
And I say that without apology because as a child growing up, I gravitated towards that voice, that music. Big up Carly Barrett and the Wailers, because how they played the music to accompany Bob's vocals did everything for me. Because when I listen to music, I listen to the whole spectrum, not to just the vocals. So Carly Barrett, Family Man, was the bassist on there.
I know Family Man when I'm daughter. Yeah.
So it's like the whole team, the Wailers, Bob Marley and the Wailers. Even when I call that name on radio, it's a vibes for me. Bob Marley and the Wailers, because that music. And as an adult, I understand what he's talking about now.
Yeah.
When he says I'm hurting inside, I get it.
You lick a hurt inside.
I get it.
You been hurt before?
I think everyone's been hurt before.
Okay. What's up?
I think so, yes. I have.
Okay.
I think we all
How
have.
did you get over your first hurt?
Music again. I'll go make a mixtape. When I'm upset, go to the basement and make a mixtape. Drown myself in hours playing mixes, going through the music boxes and just record boxes and just... I put myself into the music. When I'm hurt, music. And I'm turning up everything. So I'm drowning out the world and just listening to music. So all I hear is the bass. Sound system is blasting, blazing. Drown out the world with music.
With music.
Yeah.
No better than music. Music ease all the pain.
Yes, it does. It does. And then you can find a song to relate to whatever situation you're going through.
But if you play a song where don't that bring you back to the moment instead of help?
For me, I just say thank you.
Yeah.
Like...
That could be someone solve the problem too.
There's a lot of music out there that helps to heal you. You can relate to Gladys Knight and the Pips when they do the song Invisible. When you hear that Claudine soundtrack and you hear the song Invisible, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you listen to the words of that, you're like, whoa.
No.
I get it. A lot of people wish they were invisible sometimes.
Sure.
And she just breaks it down in the song.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love everybody out there. You know what to do. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
And this is Empress Yvette.
Show me some love on social media somewhere.
Talk about it. Tell me Instagram, quick.
Empress Yvette Instagram, Empress Yvette on TikTok, Empress Yvette on Twitter, Yvette Marshall on Facebook, and YMTV on YouTube.
That is it. And we're out.
Blessings.
Jordan Transport and Equipment Limited. We deliver blocks, steel, cement, sand, gravel, topsoil, island-wide, and remove rubble. You need to rent a car for the weekend or for the month? We got you too. Just call us at 876-830-0239 or Call us at 876-314-9767. 99% business, 1% friendship. Jordan Transport Equipment Limited. We're waiting on your call.
I want this inside the music, with up on the inside, beyond the scenes, beside the scenes, or even behind the scenes. Because no man wouldn't work all along around here, isn't it?
No, like when pocket full of cash. I mean, someone them know say Quad Red bad. I'm represent for Inside the Music, hosted by JCB. You see, pre. So make sure you log in and check in. Inside the Music, JCB, them dead.
Be sure you say I big up Inside the Music. Remember to subscribe and share and like and leave a comment.
Music inside which part? The music inside where? The music, not less than that.